The Avs are about to go from having 4 top 6 forwards to 7. That's an entire line. It might make them a little bit better. And oh, by the way, 3 of the guys they have already are leading the league. So, yeah, this team might be pretty good. Let's talk about it on today's DNVR Avalanche Podcast.
Welcome inside the DNVR Avs show. It's Gizmo, it's Rudo, it's Biggie, and Tiff on the dials. Glad to have you along, as it's always nice to win. Every time I read the headline on the show today, I'm like, it's like Ron Burgundy. I'm Ron Burgundy. Are we good again? We'll answer that question. I'll give you a hint. Yeah, yeah, we are, baby. Let's go. Glad to have you guys along. Thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to talking to you guys in the chat. Looking forward to getting to a whole bunch of stuff today. We'll touch back on yesterday. We'll talk about some news. We'll get to that first. Obviously, we'll talk about this team being good again because it's about to change exponentially in less than 24 hours when the Avs take on the Washington Capitals tomorrow at Ball Arena. By the way, a takeover as well. If you're not in on that yet. Have we sold out on that yet?
I think there's like one or two, or at least bus tickets are left.
Yes,
I don't know.
We have bus tickets left.
Okay.
There are no game tickets left.
Okay, well, I know the place that you can go to find tickets to that game. We'll talk about that right around the 2:30 hour. So if you want a hot tip on where to get tickets for that game tomorrow against the Washington Capitals. And Alex Ovechkin coming into town. He might break Gretzky's scoring record tomorrow, is what I heard. He's close.
Let's see. If Georgiev posts a 500... Ovi would only have to shoot about 60 times to break the record, I think.
Okay, so it's possible is what I'm saying.
Practice doesn't count?
So it's possible.
Morning skate and pregame doesn't count.
Possible that Alex Ovechkin breaks the scoring record tomorrow in Denver. You heard it here first. That's not happening, but he's going to shoot the puck a lot. We'll get into that later as well. Boys, how'd we sleep late night? Thank you, TNT, and our good friends Eddie and Kenny and Boosh. So... yeah,
I'm a night owl, and that one was tough.
Tough one.
I did drink a cola drink. What was that? Whatever. Emergency.
Did you have? No, you didn't have an emergency.
No, not emergency.
5-hour energy.
Yeah, like one of those
Celsius
energy
or whatever.
Celsius slipped you something.
Oh,
yeah, not roofies.
No.
It was like an energy drink. It
was
like midnight.
The Joker drinks or something.
Good.
It was like midnight. I'm drinking like a energy drink. I'm like, what am I doing?
That's all right. Heart can handle it. You'll be all right. Still alive. Kicking it.
Yikes.
Let's talk about a little bit of the news of the day. And by the way, the DNVR Avs pod brought to you by our wonderful friends at Bet365. Remember, with Bet365, it is never ordinary. We're going to talk about them more later. They've been good to me again. It's like a roller coaster. I feel
up
like
and down, yeah.
My relationship with Bet365 basically illustrates every personal relationship I've had. So
you said it, not me.
Yeah. So yeah, Bet365 and my love life are roughly the same, which is dramatic and expensive. I don't crack myself up too often, but that was
pretty good.
That was
pretty good.
I think I've identified all my problems in one fatal swoop. This is great. I don't even need therapy or help. If I did, we got an ad for that too. I'm tying it all in today.
Lots of coverage.
I'm in a rare mood of teasing not only our show, but in the entirety of our ads today.
He's
also. On it. News, let's talk about obviously the inevitabilities of a roster that has additions and subtractions. So in they come, out they go. The subtractions, not much of a surprise. A lot of paper transactions over the last of the course few weeks, and we talk about those and tweet them out, and I get that's under... sometimes difficult to understand. Why don't we just talk through that real quick, the latest and greatest, the most of which I think is probably that Wagner is on waivers at this point.
Yeah, look, the Avs are, at minimum, we now know, getting at least 2 guys back on Friday. We're expecting Miles Wood could go too, but not 100% yet. So two guys have to go down. You have to make room in your forward core for at least Valenchushkin and Jonathan Drouin. And Wagner might not be that guy just yet, but with Wood coming and then a little bit further down the line, someone like a Ross Colton later in the year coming, he's going to end up back with the Eagles at some point. I don't know if it'll be this second, but the Avs are getting that flexibility with waivers to have a couple of options. We've seen a lot of paper transactions over the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
These are going to start to be real transactions starting today. So expect someone like a Tynan to be back with the Eagles in a hopefully a bit more permanent role. With Wagner, he's probably the flex guy. He might even end up being the 13th forward for this road trip. We'll see exactly how it plays out. But long term, he'll be back with the Eagles, I would say, by the new year. For right now, we'll see.
I mean, I see the chat talking a little bit about again, forget my pronunciation, but Pishpashov and
Prishchapov.
Prishy. I'm going to call him Prishy.
This is like Vegas. What was that guy? Shipashov.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, I'm going to call him Prishy. And I know some people are
Russian
talking
names,
about...
man, they're hard.
Some people are talking about Prishy and Kiviranta. Listen, it's compare apples to apples. One's an apple, one is a chicken sandwich or a ham sandwich. It's not the same thing. So, and I mean that with all the respect in the world. So Pishpashov will not be here on the roster ahead of Kiviranta. So Kiviranta's got a lot of experience. He's got the trust of Bednar. And it's not in the same boat. Do I think he's going to have a nice career? Hey, for a 7th round pick a few months ago, holy cow, he's well on his way. That's awesome. Yeah. You know what I mean? Good for him. But he's not going to stick around here, even though he was really, really helpful in what he brought. I thought it was a test that he passed high-flying colors, but not going to be here, ahead of those guys. So he's probably one of those guys. You just talked about paper transactions, that probably a real transaction. He's probably one of them. I would assume Kovalenko, Ivan, and again, Wags is because of his stature, like he has to clear waivers, and you're assuming he's going to clear it tomorrow. Gives them flexibility, gives them time and figure out what to do with them. But I would say that, Prishy and Tynan are probably the ones that are on a real transaction.
And it's just the rookie factor with
Prishchapov.
He played really, really well in his time in Colorado. With the Avs, I should say. Yeah. But Jared Bednar, you'd have to find him in a coffin before he takes Kiviranta out over a rookie. So it's just not going to happen.
I can't pronounce. My French tongue does not let me pronounce Russian names.
Russians are the ones that always...
It's like Gatukushkin. I always mess it up too. Like, God.
Hey, checking out the chat. Yeah. Guess who's on TV now?
Hey, it's
How about
us.
that? Watched us last night as well. If you are an Xfinity subscriber, you can check us out on channel 4072.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, yeah. I know other entities not on.
Xfinity, yeah.
Yes, so check us out on TV. If you have Xfinity, you can watch us on channel 4072. Just some of the really cool stuff that ALLCITY and, of course, just us, DNVR, working on. With Wagner and the waivers and everything else like that, is there any other thoughts on...
Yeah, I want to answer this question from Andrew in the chat.
Good call.
He asked, so what cap shenanigans the Avs need to pull to activate everyone? None, technically.
Right.
They are fine because they have both Colton and Landeskog still on LTIR. So cap-wise, they don't have to do anything. The reason you're seeing these moves that they're making, like the Kovalenko and Ivan ones, which we're expecting to be papers again, I'm not going to convolute all the way into the exact breakdown of how you can still accrue cap space while you're in LTIR. But the short answer is they're saving a couple of bucks on the cap by doing this every day, essentially. How much is those dollars going to actually matter? We'll find out at the trade deadline. Not that big of a deal, to be honest, and it will not be hard at all for them to activate all these guys.
It's not a big deal. It's just a big deal on the player's pocket. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't get
They're cool with that.
He doesn't get an NHL payday that day. I'm just saying, Now, that's the player in me talking. It is a big deal.
By the way, and we got to shout this out, I think the person most happy about the fact that all of us wonderful folks are now on Xfinity, a shout out all the way to Plymouth, Michigan. Kate Gismondi tuning in. I think she hasn't missed a single television radio broadcast I've done since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
So Hi, Mom.
Nice lady. Oh, she's related?
Yeah, Kate.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know.
My mother. Yeah.
I'm kidding. Hello, Mrs. Gizmo.
So,
joke. That was a joke.
Yeah,
No.
wait.
Yeah.
Kate tuned in. Hi, Mom. I knew you were pumped about this, so very cool. Kate Gizmondi is a saint. Yeah, listen, I think the paper transactions are what they are. Like you said, it hits the paychecks a little bit, but you knew this was coming, and at the end of the day, it's a positive thing for the Colorado Avalanche because that means you're getting these bodies back. And tomorrow, the news being, and we'll talk a little bit more about what the additions are going to mean impactfully, but you know you're getting Nichushkin back. You know you're getting Druin back, and I would assume that you're probably getting Miles Wood back. After the break, I do want to go into you guys, and you can think about it now, kind of what our lines are going to look like at this point, and maybe Tiff can help us out a little bit with
They did activate
some
Woody,
graphics.
right?
What the heck?
I mean, there was so many
Sorry.
transactions today.
I would have to relook. I don't.
I
remember,
think I
yeah.
saw that they activated Wood, right? I mean, they activated Joe Druin,
Yeah.
Druin is definitely
but
activated.
I thought they
yeah.
activated Druin and
You-
Wood.
they
I'm
probably-
trying to
they
remember.
probably
There was
did.
too many
They
paper
probably
transactions
did, yeah.
today, but
Yeah.
that threw me off. But I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah.
Let's talk about. Probably should phrase this differently now that I know my mom is watching. Let's talk about last night. E.
Yes.
Let's talk about last night. Three of us in this hockey game. Listen, that's a great hockey game for them because, again, and we can get to it now or later, the starts have been just awful for the Colorado Avalanche. Like almost predictably so much so that we were at the game and, you guys will meet him. He's going to come on the pod with the puppy. Billy looks over at me and he goes, they're going to score in the first 2 minutes.
Yep.
Like, he said, I don't even know why we just don't start down 1-0. And you know, and I kind of went to correct him
Nope.
and try to be Mr. Positive. And 2 seconds later, it was in the back of our net on the first shot, 32 seconds into the hockey game. So, I don't quite know what the deal is with that. I would have to say that at this point, because they play so well through the rest of it, it's got to be mental. Is it mental? I mean, yeah, it's a terrible defensive breakdown. Both the goals were.
Oh, no, the first goal, it's not a defensive breakdown. It's a bad goal.
no, he's got to make that
It is,
save.
no idea what
Yeah.
He's got to make that
Yeah.
save.
I know, but that's what I mean. Those breakdowns happened. The Avs had 14 shots against yesterday. So it's like, but yeah, you're right. It is mental. It is a mindset. It happens more than you think. It happens more than you think around the NHL. You got to remember, they're the best of the best players in the world. They go out there. It's fresh ice. They're pumped up. They're ready to go. They're not banged up from the game yet. Like, they haven't lost any energy. It's just a start. I've always been nervous. We're playing, working. I don't like starts of games. It's just, I feel that it's the most. That's why I always say weather the storm the first 5 minutes. I do believe there's always a lot of major breakdowns in the first 5 minutes because I do believe the push is as hard as it's going to be because they're fresh as they're going to be. So I told Rudo last night, we talked about it at length last night in the pod, and that's what I was saying. I'm like, and he makes fun of me all the time and about my shenanigans and everything, but you just got to change it up a little bit. And, instead of playing that song, there's a song we play at 6:20. Well, you change the song and you play it at 6:15 and you play another one. And I don't know what it is, but you change it up as a team. And they're creatures of habits. Guys are crazy. You see it more and more now with social media. You see guys before games and, the taps and then doing, the Marc-Andre Fleury's a goalie and he's like going and he's doing all the stuff that he needs to do. And same with that. You just change it up a little bit. Rudo, you're coming here. I'm going there. You just got to change it up. Sometimes you change up. Coaches a lot of times are stubborn in who they start. At home, they always start that fourth line and that deep pair. Well, you know what? You do something else. You know what I mean? You change the other line. You start different guys. You start different combos. 3 of us are sentiments. I don't care. Put 3 sentiments out there. Make it. I'm just saying, you just change it up a little bit.
Gap the routine.
And then all of a sudden, you get back to it, So that's just what I think. People are going to think I'm crazy and stupid and whatever it is, but that's just.
I mean, you have to do something.
I'm not sure what to
keep
tell
doing
you.
that. You're not going to keep getting.
Here's what I'm going to say. It's
Not gonna
not
get
like
away.
Jared Bednar comes in the locker room. It's almost go time, and he's like, guys, let's give up the first one. Let's make sure we're sleepy a little bit the first 3 minutes, But maybe you should, you know what I mean? Because it's like a dad, and you know what I mean. You don't listen to your dad, and
No, you
mad,
gotta
I'm
do like
just
the reverse
disappointed.
psychology.
Yeah.
you do the reverse one.
psychology.
Hey, hopefully you guys don't drop one on the first shot. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? I don't know, but you got to change it up. And I'm not saying you're trying to.
Let's try not to go down 2-0, boys.
It's a habit that creeps into your.
9 times. 17 games played, 9 times they've
that's
given
my
up the
point.
first goal.
Ouch.
It's more than half.
In the first, like, couple of minutes,
and this
too.
is
Yeah,
even
I'd have to look at the
but this
numbers,
is
but
even
a lot of them have been
and
quick.
a lot
yeah.
of them are first shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like,
it can't keep going that way. It will burn you eventually. The
Yeah.
Avs have done a good job. They've won 4 of those 9 games despite giving up the first goal. But look, if the on-ice off-ice stuff gets them ready, do what they have to do. But it just needs to be better on the ice in the first
Yeah,
period.
that's right.
And it's not just the slow starts. For me, it's the entire first period. We're talking about multiple games where the Avs have a first period with 4-5 shots on goal. And if they were a bad team, then they're a bad team. But they follow that up with a second period consistently where they put 15 shots on goal.
Well, listen, the bottom line is that they really have to get a better base when they start these games and lay some groundwork and some real solid flooring in order to build themselves up to where they need to be throughout the rest of the entire hockey game. And they can try to do that on Ball Arena. Don't have many options other than a nice solid foundational ice surface, which they do a really good job of at Ball Arena. But if you want some for your home, well, the easy answer is Empire Today, because with Empire Today, you are getting... Well, it's the best place to get the best new flooring, and every time you go to them, you know you're getting quality service, you know you're getting quality products, and you know you're getting the best price possible out there. And with their at-home shopping tutorial and setup, you can actually build the flooring and put it in your space and see it with your furniture, so you know exactly what you're getting, and you always know that that service is going to come in and be quick and affordable. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need and not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. That virtual flooring planner is just absolutely awesome. I recently put a new couch in my living room. We're looking at some flooring right now too. I went on, I checked it out. It's super cool, and it makes it really, really easy. You can schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners receive $350 off discount when they use promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DNVR for details.
Do you guys live in a food desert?
I'm never out of food. No.
Yeah, no, it's... But I can see the problem that could present running out of food.
I live in a food desert.
Yeah.
The closest grocery store to me is 30 minutes away.
Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's not easy. Yeah, that's a food.
I work a full-time job. My wife works a full-time job. We don't have the time to mess around with that stuff. So we go get HelloFresh. It delivers your food right to your front door. Meals that are quick and easy to make, come pre-prepared. All you have to do is chop them up, throw them in the pan or the, I don't know, what else, a pie tin, whatever it is. I'm not a chef, and even I can cook HelloFresh.
You're not a chef.
All right? That's my point. You don't have to know a whole lot about cooking to make HelloFresh work for you. It's super easy. It's not very time consuming, and they give you a ton of amazing options when it comes to the food that you can get. My wife and I use it seriously every single week. We get a box. It makes it super easy, especially this time of year with the holidays coming around. Everyone's running around trying to do all their shopping, or they're busy. They're doing whatever they have to do. HelloFresh is sitting there waiting for you, ready to go, making your food super easy to cook, super easy to eat, and super delicious. So make sure you go check them out. They have over 100 different add-ons, including things like dessert, quick breakfast, snacks, and more. Of course, they have lunches and dinners. Whatever it might be, HelloFresh has your meals covered. And you can get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/free avalanche. That's the new code. Get with it. That's 10 free meals with code free avalanche at HelloFresh.com/free avalanche. Gets applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. Jump in again, HelloFresh.com/free avalanche for your 10 free meals. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
Number one. Yeah, I mean, convenience, especially these days. Everybody wants it at the snap of a finger. That's the way to go.
Yep.
Good again. That's the question that we're asking today about this hockey team. I don't think they weren't good, truthfully. I think that they were struggling with a litany of injuries that I haven't seen a march to the infirmary like that in quite some time in the National Hockey League, especially at the very onset of the season. Maybe down, later in the road, or after a long break or right ahead of playoffs, but certainly not, entering the year and then carrying yourself over. And for me, the fact that they were able to sustain the way that they sustained and pull off what they pulled off and literally got above 500 by November 15th, which I think we said multiple times leading up to it was the goal. Just stay at or around 500, and above 500 would be an absolute added bonus before you got the bodies that you thought you were going to get back on November 15th, which is tomorrow. So listen, I don't think they were ever not good, but I think what they are right now is back to a team that will be where they were supposed to be coming into the season. Now, with that comes luxury of bodies and people and some more scoring prowess, most certainly in a lineup that looks a lot more like an NHL team than the Eagles from up the road, who are also going to be very good out of this, but which is another byproduct of the benefit of this. The Eagles are about to get a lot better too. But the question now becomes, and the pressure now becomes, you don't have any excuses anymore at this point. If you get these three bodies back in the lineup right away, there really is no excuse for a poor start or a close game, and you need to start sending a message to the NHL and start winning games by 2, 3, 4.
Go ahead.
I mean, this is a funny situation, right? Because maybe the conversation should have less been, are the Avs good again, to are they now great?
Great's going to take a second.
Of course, you can't expect them to immediately be the best team on the planet or anything like that, but the timing of this works out in a really weird way, where I think, especially over these last 3, 4, 5 games, this version of the Avs lineup figured out how it has to play hockey. Mm-hmm. The Avs are giving up the second least amount of shots per game in the NHL right now.
None yesterday in the second period against a high-powered LA team.
An elite defensive game, minus the 2 breakdowns in the first period, basically. Everything else was, they gave LA nothing. That is how the Avs forward core had to play with the guys that they were missing in their lineup. They didn't really have a choice but to try and grind out games with elite defensive play and surviving with good goaltending and things like that. With the guys they're about to get back, if they can continue to do that, they're also going to drop 5, 6 goals regularly on teams this year. That's a team that's going to be really, really hard to stop. You have the lineup there. The crazy part is you take any of those top 6 guys and move them around. Play anyone with anyone, and you feel pretty good about those lines. They're going to be really good.
Wow. I mean, just looking up and down, and I'm a visual guy, so getting a chance to actually see that now. I mean, we talked last night in the car on the way back about what you need to be successful and what you need to win the Stanley Cup, and this team has, I think there are 4 major factors that it takes to win the Stanley Cup. The Colorado Avalanche, with a healthy roster, check 3 of the boxes. Unfortunately, they do not check, in my opinion, the most important box. You can guess what that is, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Look, the year they won the Cup, I think you could argue they didn't check that box either, and they still found a way to win. Now, that happens maybe once every 20 years.
Yeah,
but
sure.
There's also going to be options at that position come February. So
100%.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say, Colton. If you get him out, because he's not there for a few weeks, right? So Colton, you scratch him there because he's hurt. So tomorrow, what do you see there? You know what I mean?
I mean, Bednar's sticking with Kelly for the actual 3C spot. Yeah. I am expecting it to be Wagner as the 4C or whatever. You can move Ivan to 4C and Wagner to the wing.
I think we're on the same page.
The reality is...
No, Kivi's in there somewhere, just so you know.
Yeah,
100% Kivi's in there tomorrow.
Kivi Ronto over Wagner is fine, and then Ivan can be the center.
Yep.
I don't know that it matters that much because guess what? When you add Druin and Nichushkin to your top 6, your top line's been playing a lot, but you're about to play your second line a whole lot more. They're about to get a lot of ice time, and guys like Kelly are going to get less.
And then you've gotten some power play guys. You've gotten some PK guys. Val's an excellent penalty killer.
Yep.
You're getting, like you said, a second line. Somebody in chat earlier, sorry, forgive me for... was talking about maybe when guys come back, then they get slotted in the right place. Maybe we'll fix the starts. Not necessarily, but it will fix the whole problem of what you see sometimes where it's hard to get production, and you're getting it from your top guys, but from your other guys, it's, trust me, I've lived it, way easier, especially at home, to get a productive night from your third or fourth line, you know what I mean, when you're slotted right.
Yeah.
Because if you're on the second line, LOC, you know what I mean, it's tough. It is tough. It is a fact. And this is not bagging on Logan. He's an outstanding hockey player. 32 teams would take him. You just make sure he's slotted in the right place, and he will be successful. Now, to get back, I forgot about Fu. Fu talked about a little bit of smelling salts earlier. I think he's right to answer the last segment there. I'm going to talk to Matt Sokolowski. We're going to make sure that they change the smelling salts, make sure that it's a little bit stronger. If it's in a B level smelling salts, we're going to make sure it's an A+. Last year, I don't know if we can find that, but, you know, Rudo did it before the game, and we have it on slow-mo and on the chat, and Rudo almost concussed himself and had a, you know, snapped his
I got a
head backwards.
good 3 big sniffs in, all right? I went in, I got pretty
It put a
deep in
hole
there.
in your,
Did
in your
it fire?
skull.
Does it get you got going off of it?
Oh, it's
It definitely wakes you up. I
I've
don't
got
know.
that video somewhere. I'll find
It,
it.
it was from Game 1's post-game
We know if
last year.
there's help. You know,
So-
adversity.
Anyway, but you know that was not a joke. Actually, I by the end of my career, I used to sniff one there, jam it right up my nose, and not even like get rid of them. So you do get used to them. But they are part of your routine. I told you I was messed up.
I'm gonna be
so many,
honest,
I have too many routines.
I don't
going.
get it. Like, they woke me up, but I don't think they would make me play hockey any better.
Oh, it does. It does. Opens your brain up, and then you think clearly.
Try new things.
Then you got the Sammy G, like, you know, nose strip
Breathe
there,
right.
make
Yeah.
breathe right, and then the wood, you know, knocking on wood, and you know, whatever. It's very important. But anyway, to get back to Rudo's shaking his head, he's dying. But it's true. But yeah, for me, it's more about you're all of a sudden forget about getting bodies back because they've played so well without the bodies. Again. You're giving up 14 shots. You played an excellent hockey game when you give up 14. I would tell you that 99% of the time you're going to win the game. You know, it might be that one game where you get a 1-0 lead, and you know, like for example, Phoenix last night. Sorry, Utah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the shots are 50-12 and they won. You know what I
They
mean? It's
did
like,
win.
oh, whatever. You know, you got goalied. That's called getting goalied. This certainly wasn't the case last night. And then big save Dave could not come up with the save, and then. But I do believe more than
Dave was on the. Man, he was half asleep on the bench there.
poor
bud,
guy. I
at
feel
that,
so
that,
bad.
That start.
He gets the L. He gets the numbers
wake him
blown
up.
up. Like, it's just the worst stat in the world. But the Avs getting the bodies back, for me, it's huge. It's awesome. For a coach, it's so much more exciting because you're looking left, you're looking right. You're like, I got options. I like this. And then B, you can control the game that way more. And then C, the guys are slotted where they're supposed to be, and that is the most important thing.
It's incredible how different it looks when last game, 2 games ago, this last stretch, you look at the Avs lineup and you go, well, it's the top guys and everyone else is just trying to hang on. Now, Friday night, the second line is going to be licking their chops instead of trying to survive because they say, hey, we get to come on the ice after MacKinnon. We get the slightly easier guys to play against because Druin's played on the top line for this team. Nichushkin's played on the top line for this team. If you swap it, obviously Lehkonen has played for the top line on this team, or Mikko, whoever it is. These are top line caliber players when they're at their best. Maybe not 100% of the time, but you're essentially putting low end first liners on your second line. And now other teams are the ones shaking in their boots when they come out on the ice.
Okay, but to your point right there, which is outstanding, you know I can't read. Can you please read the last comment there? Because I can't read it, but I kind of know what it's saying.
Which Sammy has played better?
Awesome. From Wayne?
Yeah.
Wayno, what's up, buddy? Listen, it's a great question. It's a fair question, but it's exactly what Rudo's talking about. It's what I've been talking about the last few minutes. It's hard to compare Sammy G to Sammy Malinsky because what Sammy G in the top 4 spot plays against, it is so much more hard. It's so much tougher. The matchups are so much harder. And I'm not here to... Yeah, it is. Trust me on
It
this.
is, but this is not a hard answer. Sam Girard has been great for the Avs. He's their best possession defenseman.
that's not what I'm saying.
He's been better.
But that's not what he's... that's not
That's
the point.
literally what he asked.
No, okay, perfect. But what I'm trying to say is you can't compare it. You know, you can't compare because if you would take Sam Malinsky, and I love him, That's what I'm trying to explain to him. Like, of
No,
course,
Malinsky's been great. I
The answer,
agree.
the answer is
Yeah.
Sam Girard. I know that. I'm trying to say is for me is the question is tough because it's a tough question because it doesn't make sense without putting Wayne down. That's what I'm trying to say. If Sam Malinsky would have had all the shifts that Sam Girard's had, you would be saying, well, he's had a hard season. Because he does not play against the same matchups. That's what I'm trying to say. But yes, the answer is Sam. What I'm saying is it's hard to compare a second pair guy to a third pair guy because you don't play against the same opponents, same type of opponents.
Tomorrow,
That's what I was trying to say.
Tomorrow will be fun, and I cannot wait. I was just asking this question. I'm very naive in the betting world still, but tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun in the betting lines, and I can't wait to see exactly what happens. Because with the additions that are coming back and the Washington Capitals coming in and Ovi on an absolute tear, it's going to be off the charts, and we'll talk about all of our lines tomorrow. But what I want to talk about right now is the wonderful folks and our partner over at Bet365, because with Bet365, it is never ordinary. They are the official partner of the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche, and they are also giving new customers in Colorado 2 months of Altitude Plus on them when you sign up. I've had a lot of fun with this. As you all know, I haven't really been allowed to dabble on the sports bets for quite some time, working for NHL teams for the last 9 years. But having an opportunity to work with Bet365 and get to experience it, it just makes it a little bit more fun. And with Bet365, they're doing so many different cool things with everyday power-ups on the odds on hundreds of bets to give you a chance to win more with over 10,000 boosts every single month. They boost specific markets and your winnings and even parlays. So keep an eye out for those custom DNVR bets and boosts. And with Bet365, the early NHL payout is probably one of my favorite things because if your team gets a 3-goal lead, you automatically win, no problem. It's an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winner. All you have to do is download the app and use code DNVR when you sign up. There's a couple of other real fun things that you can do with them and a couple of other promotions, but getting Altitude Plus for a couple of months on them is just absolutely awesome. That's a limited time offer, so sign up today. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Remember that you must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know feel you or them have a gambling problem, please call or encourage them to call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The best part might be when you win a couple bucks, you should come to the takeover with us.
And if you can't get a ticket because they're super popular and sold out, but you want to come on a bus and you're still looking for tickets,
Game time.
Game time, baby.
there you go.
We're in section 320, by the way, if you're looking. You can go get tickets to section 320. Bus tickets still available, so you can come on the bus and join us that way. It's essentially like you're part of the takeover. You just got the tickets yourself. Come join Game Time if you haven't already. Game Time, their best option is their Game Time Picks offer, which will only show you the best seats for the best prices. It cuts out all the fluff, makes your life super easy when it comes to choosing seats. And you can get some of the best seats in the house, whatever building you might be at. They're available for pretty much every sporting event in existence, at least in North America. And they even go beyond sporting events. You have concerts, theaters, movies. You can go to whatever you want when it comes to Game Time. So get in with Game Time and their Game Time picks with the code DNVR when you download the app to get $20 off your first purchase. Of course, Game Time offers the best prices out there. If you find tickets cheaper somewhere else, they'll reimburse your account 110% of the ticket price. So jump in. What time is it?
Game time.
Game time.
Let's go.
Are we done with the end? Sorry.
We are.
I got breaking news right here.
Breaking news.
Sure, buddy.
Are we talking about the other breaking news that's happening tomorrow that we want to talk about?
No, that's good. We don't talk about that. Breaking news here. Casey Middlestat's been arrested on Spear Boulevard driving home
Sure.
for smiling too much.
Yeah.
He was driving out the window like this, and he's like going like this. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm getting some wingers. I'm getting some wingers."
Just to clarify, Casey Middlestat was not pulled over on Spear Boulevard,
Nor was he
arrested at any point.
I'm saying he was arrested for smiling too much. The cop was like, "Stop smiling," and he's like, I can't. He's so excited. He's getting wingers, and boy, oh boy.
About to get 220 goal scores plopped on each side of it.
Again, and again, a guy like that will never come out swinging tomorrow and say, "Yeah, it's about time I'm getting some real wingers." You never put your buddies down. That is not what it means. But at the end of the day, everyone knows what you are. Logan O'Connor knows what he is. He'd be the first one to jump in right here and be like, "Yeah, I want to get back to my spot." You know what I mean? Because that's, the only one that said no was Ross Colton. He's like, oh, I like this. I'll keep scoring. You know what I mean? Because maybe there's a little more ceiling in the tank,
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Rudo, sorry. Tiff, sorry. Yeti, I'm waiting for the day I'll see y'all show Make It on Altitude. Well, that might not happen, but you can see us on Xfinity, channel 4072.
Someday,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Who knows?
But
Who
one
knows
day.
what could be on this channel
I do
someday?
I love you, Moj. I love you, Riker. I love you, Kiefer. You guys are awesome, Con. You know I am. Big fans, 100%. Getting those wingers back and just getting that depth in scoring, you take a look at what it did to add Lackett into the lineup and just the boost that gave you. Okay, so now times that by 3. I mean, what is the reasonable expectation for what could potentially happen with these 3 guys back in the lineup tomorrow? And I want to talk about Washington and Ovechkin's thing separately. Let's just take it against any team that's a decent team right now. Injecting them back in the lineup, what does that do in the Lecky factor times 3?
Do you want me to go first?
You
I'm
go.
gonna go first.
I gotta look something up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at some differently. And again, poor Alyssa, she's at work and her heart stopped thinking Casey got arrested. Casey did not get arrested. It was a farce meeting. He's smiling so much today. He's getting real wingers tomorrow. That's
Which
why.
is our
My
entertainment
Lord.
lawyer.
But it's funny. At least I got
Thank you,
Alyssa. Here's what I was trying to say.
Just call him real fast.
Hold on. Here's what I was trying to say. Here's what I'm trying to say about the point you're making right now. All right. Way you've been playing lately, it's been awesome. It's been absurd. And I'm going to make it right here. This is my push for, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. 2 years ago, which I wasn't with you guys, ironically enough, with Altitude, I made a point of saying, Jared Bednar is a crime he did not get the Jack Adams that year. The year after winning the cup with everything that they were dealing with all the injuries, for me, it was absolutely absurd. It was shameful that he was not even considered, right? He was not Final 3, right? Was he?
I can't remember. He definitely didn't win it.
He didn't win it. I know that. And again, whoever won, no offense to him. And yes, we are biased because we live it daily, but it was unbelievable that he did not get, because this job that he did was absolutely outstanding. Now, the last few weeks have been absolutely outstanding. When I say Jared Bednar, you never want to forget what? Ray Bennett. You never want to forget Prater. You never want to forget Brett, in the video room. And I mean...
Equipment guys, trainers, keeping dudes healthy, the whole thing.
Yeah. But I'm saying the job that they do as a coaching staff has been phenomenal. Now, the last few weeks, it's been phenomenal. What I'm trying to say is sometimes when you do have superstars, right, which they do, it makes the job a little easier. But there's a buy-in in there, and it's a little easier to buy in because you're expected to lose. Who's going to win this game? The Avs are missing 6, 7 forwards. There's no way they're winning the game, right? It makes things a little easier. What this does, yes, I just said it's exciting, and now you have a real lineup up front, but it brings added pressure because now you're supposed to win. And I tell Rudo, I tell AJ all the time, there's a different mindset, right? You know what I mean? I was playing for the LA Kings back then, and every night we were afraid to lose, and I got traded to the Avalanche, and then you come here and you're expected to win. It's a totally different mindset. It is unreal. Like, it's hard to explain because you're in the locker room and you're taking a shower after the game. You're like, wow, these guys are nuts. Like, it's unreal, the thought process that goes into it. And you know that you're never out of it. You know you're supposed to win. They love the pressure. They love the pressure. 01 Cup was supposed to win. They won. That was the toughest cup than the 96 Cup. Because the 96 Cup, they really had no pressure. Nobody had really picked them to win. Right? They were a good team, but it's a totally different mindset. So now when you're getting everybody back, yes, it helps slots everything. Yes, it helps look good. But now you're supposed to win. Mm-hmm. So it gives you a little bit more pressure. The Avs can handle that pressure. They have championship pedigree. They have a great core group. They have a great leaders. Of course, that's where he's missed the most. But we know they've done it without Gabe the last few years. But what I'm trying to say is you got to limit expectations a little bit where those guys have to go out there and then go do the job. You know what I mean? Because they look, the first thing you do when you walk into a dressing room in the opposition, it's the board right there. What's on the board? It's the lineup. And then you see the lineup, you're like, oh boy, that's a good lineup. Right? You know what I mean?
In counter perspective, when the Tampa Bay Lightning were in town, we were in Tampa's room, and I was chatting with my friend Luke Glendening, and he's looking at the board, and he's like, "Is Shellington playing wing?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Isn't he a defenseman?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, okay." So it goes both ways the way you're saying it, but yeah, I mean, I think you get a little bit of that factor.
Yeah, look.
You have numbers.
I do. Yeah. These numbers are a little bit specific, so I understand that. But when we have this conversation about the Avs scoring, in the month of November, tomorrow we're at the halfway point of November, the Avs have a bunch of scoring from their top line. They have a bunch of scoring from their defense. The last goal scored by a forward not on the Avs top line that didn't at least involve a top line player, so that is MacKinnon, Lehkonen, or Rantanen getting an assist on it, is in October. Their depth forwards have not created a goal by themselves in a month. And they're about to get significantly better depth performances with the guys they're getting back. It's going to completely change the way not only the Avalanche play, but the way teams have to play the Avalanche. Right now, most teams are sitting back saying, if we stop their top line from beating us, we're probably going to win this game. And the Avs defense has done a very good job, I will say. The Avs defensive depth, Gerard, Malinsky, you've seen guys step up and score some big goals for the Avs. But the Avs depth just has not done much. And that's not their fault. We've talked about it a million times. The Avs depth is about to start doing a lot for this team, and it's going to make this team really, really hard to beat.
Bang on.
Bang on. Agreed. Just to go back to real quick, because I want to address the Jack Adams. Media starts a narrative for a coach that has early success and runs with that all season, and then taking a leap in the standings, making the playoffs. Yeah, okay. This is different in my opinion, though. Like, you do what you did with this and you carry it through. You give it a go. This is different for me. I'm sorry. I think what he's done. I think he's what he's. I'm pretty passionate when it comes to certain things, and you'll see me go down this road a lot, folks. But I'm a big fan of Jared Bednar's. Like, big fan.
I agree with you. I think he should be in the conversation.
Yep.
I also understand the league will never give him the respect he deserves because he has Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar.
Yeah, exactly. And usually the guy that wins is usually the guy that gets the biggest point jump from the year
except for the
before.
time that Bednar did it.
That's
is that what you just said?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But and for me, like, I have a lot of respect for him. You guys know I call Kovalenko Andre because that's his name. From now on, Bednar's Jack. I'm going to call him Jack. It will stick. I've had a few names around the league that have stuck. They've stuck.
Jack.
I'm going to call him Jack. Even though, you know what, I have a lot of respect for him, and I know for a fact that if I played for him, I would have been a healthy scratch or played 2 minutes a night. So it's fine. Yeah, I still like him.
I brought it up yesterday with him. He didn't even know he was the longest tenured coach in Colorado Avalanche or in franchise history. He didn't even know. He looked at me like he had to ask Bren what the milestone was in the most iconic, like, Jared Bednar humble
awesome.
Team first moment ever. I couldn't even ask him the question again. I couldn't even follow up because I was like, you know what, dude, that's
respect.
Said everything.
And I'll say one more line again, and he would say it if he was here. It would be like, I'm only as good as the people that surround me.
100%.
And you know what? Ray Bennett might not be the perfect guy in the world. Nolan Pratt might not be but they're perfect for each other.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Give me the best team.
And I think that Brett, I love, and what I love is in today's world, the NHL, where everybody gets canned every 12 months, like, it's crazy. These guys, this is their 9th year together. It's outstanding. I mean, the continuity is awesome. I love it. That's all I want to say.
You said it.
Yeah.
The other team who has given up the first goal of the game 9 times this year, Boston Bruins.
Oh, Monty.
How long is Monty going to be there?
I like Monty. And yeah, somebody said start on time earlier. Yeah, Joe Sacco would say right now, start on time. And Joe's my great friend, so leave him alone. And he's an outstanding coach. That's why he's still coaching in the league.
I'm just saying, there's a reason people are saying, well, Monty might be in a little bit of trouble with this start for Boston, and the Avs with Bednar are saying, nah, he's good.
Yeah, but
They help each other, you know.
Boston didn't have the injuries.
Right, exactly.
You know, Boston didn't, maybe it's a different story if Swayman isn't there, the whole thing.
For sure.
But different conversation when it comes to very different teams who weren't starting very good. No matter what, everybody could use a little bit of BetterHelp. And this show, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Think about some of the things that scare you. We don't talk about this enough in the world that we live in now. Maybe it's getting a little bit more. Maybe you had anxiety over the election, or maybe it's money or family or your own personal health. But it's okay to be afraid of things, and it's all right to reach out for help because everybody needs help and everybody's going through something at some point. That's certainly something that I have experienced. I'm not shy about admitting that it was a rough year and a half for me, and my BetterHelp came in the form of all y'all and getting to hang out with you all. But if you've benefited from anything, and think about the things that you can go to get help, right? And sometimes that's not easy. But if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no charge. You got to overcome your fears, and you can do that with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DNVR today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/DNVR. It's not a stigmatism. Lots of people going through things right now, lots of different things weighing in on that and factoring in. And trust me, I've been there when you're in your four walls and you're staring at the TV and you're just like, come on already. BetterHelp can help. Make sure you reach out and get the help you need today. And they're the ones that can help you do it.
Look, you should go get real therapy. Go do that. Make sure you're getting in on that. But also, sometimes you just got to chill at home with a Breck Brew in your hand and enjoy life a little bit. Both things are important. So go get yourself a Breck Brew. You can go over to breckbrew.com, find their online beer locator. You can find it near you anywhere in the 50 United States. They've got dozens of flavors to choose from. Once you've selected one you think you might like, whether it's an IPA, whether it's an amber, whether it's a stout, a Kolsch, there's other beer names that I don't know. They have a ton, including their Christmas ale, which you can get in the mini kegs right now. Get them while they last, because the mini Christmas kegs go fast. So you're going to want to get in on that. Again, breckbrew.com. Also check out their merch. They have a bunch of cool stuff. We love them over here. Breck Brew, the official craft beer of DNVR.
Coming towards the end of things, we've got about 13 minutes left to chat about the Avs. I want to look ahead to the Washington Capitals. I want to talk about Alex Ovechkin and the absolute tear he's on with his newfound partner and old friend of mine from Chicago, Dylan Strome. But we don't have to talk about this long. Eric doesn't want to talk about it. So if you want to take a sip of soda or water and whatnot, I'll be right back with you here in a moment. But the goaltending thing will need to be somewhat addressed. Yes, it is performing slightly better than where it was at the start of the season. But I will go back to what Eric said. The guy who started the season is probably not the guy that's going to finish the season.
Yeah. Look, Georgiev has played much better over the last 4 or 5 games. The Avs still don't have a goaltender with a save percentage above 900. Not Georgiev, not Rantanen. Neither of them are at 900. You cannot, as a cup contender, look at that and be okay with it. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's playing better for the recent past. Good. Hopefully he can keep that up. Hopefully Rantanen can get back in and we can see if he can maintain the quality play, if you want to call it that he's given the Avs. But the reality is there is still a long way to go for these guys to be even league average goaltenders in the league this year. A couple of good games does not erase a 10-game start that was terrible.
The only thing that I'm not an NHL, never was a player in the NHL, never was a coach in the NHL, but certainly think I know enough about the game of hockey to speak on this. I only think I am disappointed about some of the decision making that has gone on is the fact that Justus played really, really good, and he really kind of helped get you out of this hole.
Yep.
And you've iced him a little bit here. And unfortunately, what is going to inevitably happen is that Georgiev is going to struggle again,
Yep.
And it is going to fall on Eustace to really have to sort of come out of the woodworks again after really having not played in a significant amount of time and step up and do it again. And unfortunately, everybody's human. So in the back of the mind, it will be, okay, yeah, I'm going to pull this off. And then I'm going to go right back to, feeling, sitting on the bench. And the unfortunate part about that is that I just don't know if that's, I think it should be a little bit more of an even split at the moment.
100% agree. I will say, look, it could be worse. 10 games ago, the Avs were looking at both their goalies and saying, I don't want to start either of these guys.
Right.
So now at least the conversation is we'd like to start both of them. I'm curious to see how this plays out. How many games does Rantanen get through the next month and a half?
Yeah.
Is it 5? Is it 10? There was a good minute there where it felt like Rantanen was probably the starter now.
I mean, all roads were leading to Rome on that.
And look, chat probably knows how I feel. I believe the Avs have given Georgiev far more leash than he deserved. Great that he turned it around. I hope he pitches a shutout every single night for the rest of the year. But we have a pretty long track record on this guy where we know it's going to come hot and cold for him. And then maybe he can be the guy. I think he's probably not at least a high-end NHL caliber starter. So I don't know that I believe he's the answer either, but I would like to find out. We can at least see what's going on there, but the Avs for multiple seasons have shied away from that. So I think the reality that I'm still looking at is that this team's goalie for the playoffs is not on the team yet.
Thank you, AJ. We're trying a little Movember thing here. I'm not really the biggest facial hair guy, but we're giving it a go. It's growing on me, literally and figuratively. So we'll see what happens after November. If we keep it around or not, we'll have to take a poll maybe. I'm polling a lot of outside people anyway. So, yeah, I mean, listen, they're going to have to make a call on it. It's something is going to have to break there a little bit. We'll see what goes on. Obviously there's a lot of luck that comes into play a little bit, and yesterday in the second period, a nice post helped out massively.
Yeah.
But you can't keep starting games like that. You just can't. Like it's borderline. I don't even know what the word is. I don't have a word for it because I've rarely seen it. So we'll see what happens there. Most likely it will be Georgiev tomorrow in net against the Washington Capitals. We'll, of course, let you know from morning skate if that changes. By the way, you can check out those morning skates. We'll always have a quick update for you on Twitter. We'll have something for you to look at. We'll have a little fun fact. We'll have a little infirmary update for you. We'll have starting goalies, and, of course, we'll always have where you can watch the games. So if you're looking for just the most up-to-date, succinct info from morning skate, make sure you're following DNVR. And you should be following us on all of our social medias, and make sure you're liking and subscribing. And if you're not a diehard yet, make sure you get in on that too.
Remind me on that one. Remind me to remember infirmary.
Infirmary? Mm-hmm. Hospital?
No, infirmary. Not for today, but for some ad reads in the future.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Indeed, I will. And I'm also reminding you about Indeed by saying Indeed.
Hey.
Let's flip the script a little bit. We got about 7 minutes left. And thank you guys all for watching, both on the television and, of course, with us here on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, or those of you listening as well. Alex Ovechkin comes into town. He's on an absolute heater. We started the season saying that we were kind of split. Some guys said, there's no way he does it this year. I said I think he's got a chance at it. E and I were talking on the way over here. Oh, boy, I think he does it. I think he gets it this year. He's on fire, and the chemistry between him and Dylan Strome is lights out.
I do believe he does it.
Yeah.
Been saying all along, I'm Team Wayne. You know what I mean? But
Sure,
I know Wayne. I know Wayne says he's going to do it. It's not a question of when, of how, or if. It's a question of when. I do believe he does it, and the way he's doing it. Last year was struggling so much. I was like, there's no way he's doing that this year. But somehow, right now, he is going to do it. I do believe it might happen this year. If not, you're going to see something early in the season next year, But listen, he's an unbelievable goal scorer. He brings the crowds. He's been doing this for a long time. Him and Sid were the new faces back then of the league. I think they carried the flag for so many years.
Oh, yeah.
And, I was one of them that said that he'll, this guy will never win a Stanley Cup, and you'll never win with that. And then he wins one. And, I tip my hat. And then it's like, all right, you know what? You can win. and he did. And undeniably, he's only a few goals away from the greatest of all time. So, I mean, it is pretty amazing. I do believe it happens. It could happen this year. I think he would have a lot for it to happen. If not, he really does it early next year. So you're witnessing history right now with each goal.
I hope he gets there. I really do. I hate that part of a player's career where they're just kind of hanging around at the end of it when they really should have retired when they went out on top. And Ovi's not quite there yet, obviously. He's scoring all those goals right now.
Yeah.
But if he has to hang around for another year, I don't know that it's going to look very pretty. So I hope he gets it this year and gets to ride off into the sunset. I will say, though, Ovi is shooting 18.5% right now. He's a career just under 13.
Yeah.
The pace is going to slow down a little bit. It's not going to keep up like it is right now. The Capitals as a team are shooting 14% at 5-on-5, which is ridiculously high. It's going to come back down to earth for this team. Not saying Ovi can't do it, but I don't see him keeping up this pace. I'll put it to you that way. So it might be a little bit closer than it looks right now. But look, I loved Ovi. I still love Ovi. I think he's the greatest goal scorer to ever live. He's going to get there one way or another.
What's that Selly look like?
Wow, that's a good question. If you go back to Wayne's, it was more like,
Yeah,
I don't see he showed a lot of emotion compared to what
he's not going to get a chance to Selly because the entire team's going to jump him the second it goes in.
That's what I'm saying. What's that like? What's that overall Selly look like? I mean, both teams are probably going to be a part of that.
There'll be some handshakes
is that
for
a
sure.
thing, right? I mean, I know it's.
Oh yeah.
But I think both teams celebrate in that moment. I mean, it's massive.
Well, Wayne was last against Vancouver, and then Gordie Howe was there, and the game stopped. Everybody went on the ice. His parents, Janet, both teams were on the ice. I mean, the game absolutely stopped on a dime, and it will stop. When it does.
You'll see the other team shake his hand and all that stuff, I'm sure. But,
I mean, holy smokes.
If you're the goalie. If he's at 892 and do you just kind of step out of the way one maybe? Like
If I'm Dylan Strome, I just want to make sure after all the help I gave him this year, you gotta get the one. Like you gotta make sure he's
Capitals
got the
are gonna
assist,
get 30 shots that night and 30 Ovi shots.
You gotta just make sure, like, shoot from everywhere. Shoot from everywhere. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a snake bit thing and he gets hung up on it. I mean, the media would love it, but he would not, and neither would the team. Imagine they're going to have to charter a jet just for the family and the God, I didn't even think about that. Mm-hmm. Family and the media and the whole shebang.
Start following, of course, when you get closer.
Gracious. Ovi, call me. I got an aviation company I can turn you on to. Last one. Somebody who's in town from out of town. I'll get this real quick. This is fun. Let's give Rob Collette in from Canada a quick give one entertainment and one recommendation for food in Denver area.
The DNVR bar.
Perfect. That covers both food and entertainment.
What was it again?
Food and entertainment spot in Denver.
The NBR bar.
Okay.
Red Rocks, always a great place to go check out if you're from out of town.
Where's Henry?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a trick question. I'm like,
No, Henry.
But where's your hot dog guy?
Oh yeah,
yes. Henry's in Cherry Creek. There, it's just a hot dog stand.
It's good.
Very,
Yeah.
But it's outside, and then it's my dad's favorite spot. He's usually on Third and
What is that street?
right there in the middle. Like, is it Milwaukee?
Third in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Third in Milwaukee down in Cherry Creek.
Yeah.
Cherry Creek's a great central area you could go down to if you're downtown Denver. Obviously, Red Rocks is a great call. If you're looking for indoor golf simulators in the Lowry area, a place called Hangar Club, go check that out. They've got good food. They've got 10 golf simulators. And then if you're looking for a really good steak, I highly suggest two places. I'd say A5 in downtown Denver, but if you find yourself down in the Cherry Creek area, I would go to 801 Steakhouse. Chop House, sorry.
Looking for other bars, Market Street down by the ballpark. There's tons of amazing bars down there.
Coming to the end of this one, Washington Capitals in town tomorrow. Give me your, JD's Bait Shop by all means if you're not going to DNVR Bar. 100%. You can see me there nightly. Maybe not nightly, but I'm there a lot. quick thoughts tomorrow. What do we like? Give me thumb up or thumb down against. We're gonna do the Chuck Norris thing. Rudo, thumbs up against the Washington Capitals tomorrow. Thumbs up.
Time to put 500 in the rearview mirror for this team.
I say thumbs up.
Are you
Don't
guys
look back.
so excited to hang out with Milan Hader tomorrow?
Also, Hedgie gets to hang out with you all. I'm going to try to stop by and see you all. Very busy day on game day for me. The boys will be there with you. You're going to have a really good time. Should be a good hockey game. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you're picking up our merch. We got a brand new shirt.
Good stick.
We got a Good Stick Lucky shirt. Make sure you're picking that up. Black Friday just around the corner. Tons and tons of cool merchandise. So get what you need and have a fun time with that. We'll talk about that more later. Puck Drop is at 7 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have the pregame show for you. We'll have postgame. I'll have intermission reports. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. If you're not a diehard yet, do that. Thank you so much for watching, especially those of you who get us now on TV. Make sure you do something nice for somebody, okay? Make somebody's life better out there today. Random acts of kindness are a big thing. And make sure you call your mom. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.